Where there's effective communication, you see into your spouse. Where there's effective communication, there is openness, there is self-awareness, there is self-acceptance, and there is self-improvement, because nobody is perfect. And that's why your marriage is supposed to make you to become more like Christ. There were some traits I had that I did not know I had until I got married. And I'm like, love, that is you in the mirror. Correct yourself. My intentions might have been right, but my mode of communication was wrong. I had to learn so many things about myself in marriage. I've had to have some conversations that were not easy to have in marriage. Why? Because when you see yourself through the lens of somebody else, you see other things that you don't see. So many of us have been used to seeing ourselves in our own lens. When somebody else shows you another aspect of yourself, then you begin to ask yourself, now that makes sense. And this thing about communication is so important, because when there is intimacy, there is oneness. And without oneness, the blessing cannot flow from the head to the skirts. Let me say this at this point. This is so key, because this is one of the things that the enemy fights in the marriage, intimacy. The Bible says that one will chase 1,000, but two will chase how many? Some people are married, but they are not two. They are separate. And because of that separation, remember I told you, I don't know if I've said it before here, but the Bible says that God is not a man that he should lie. His word cannot be broken. His promises can never end. And so it means that the conditions for his promise must be met for you to have his blessing. And the devil knows it. And so what does he do? He creates a fraction within families. Perfect example. For a lot of people that are believing God for the fruit of the womb, in my own experience of counseling them, you find out that there is lack of intimacy between both partners. I didn't say lack of sex. I say lack of intimacy. And that's a trick of the devil. You know why? Because the Bible says that a house divided against itself cannot stand. And so my husband will always tell me, let's be smarter than the devil. I remember when we believed God for the fruit of the womb, this was the one thing he kept saying, let's be smarter than the devil. Why? Because the doctor said that it was my own body physically that had the problem. And there's a tendency to begin to make yourself feel like he doesn't care because it is not him. These are seeds of doubt. The tendency begins to think that maybe he has so much faith because it's not his own body that has a problem. It's my own body now. So why won't he say you still have your own children? Because it is not him. But I had to now begin to work on my mind. Oneness is required. And so we had to consciously allow ourselves to not be divided against ourselves. Intentionally, I had to understand that whatever step of faith my husband is taking is because he's a man of faith, not because he doesn't care about my own body. And then I had to now tell myself, love, the responsibility is yours to build your own capacity. Because now this is your body. And you have authority over your body. And beyond that, your husband has authority over your body as a wife. If you look at the Bible, there's so many people that were barren until their husband prayed for them. And so we have to engage that authority together as a couple. Yes, he will stand for me, but yes, I must stand for myself. Yes, he will pray for me, but yes, I must build my faith. You know why? Because even though he prays for me and he has the capacity for my healing, until I have the faith enough to receive it, I cannot take it. And so this is what I'm talking about, the seeds of doubt. It's important for intimacy, because if you are not together, the blessing will not flow. The blessing cannot come. A perfect example, like I always share in our testimony, is that particular Shiloh that I got pregnant, my husband sent someone to pick the car to go and wash it. My office was in ALDC then. The guy left from ALDC, was supposed to go to the filling station to go and wash my car. Somebody called me a few minutes later and said, love, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. I said, why? He said, because your car is inside the ditch. I said, the ditch? How did going to the filling station get to this suit behind guest house? I just told her, I said, you know what, please go into the car. Pack all my stuff out of the car and bring it to me in the office. And she did. And thank God for spiritual mentors. They told us, don't look at the car, don't see the car, don't get yourself worked up about the car. Just tell someone to pick it and take it away from there. And so we sent someone to tow the car away to where it will be fixed. And I remember that particular Shiloh was the Shiloh who get pregnant. How do I know that? Exactly 40 weeks after that Shiloh, our daughter was born. What am I saying? The enemy will fight your intimacy. He will fight you from doing what God says, because if you do what God says, the blessings will come. And he knows he has but a short time. He's not foolish. He's not stupid. So please, in your families, be smarter than the devil. It's not always about being right. Are you standing in God's will and in God's way?